Now, a book by a British academic out today has already become a bestseller in the United States, and it's been called truly groundbreaking. It's about a mystery that's gripped us for centuries, the hunt for the Holy Grail, the goblet that Jesus drank from at the Last Supper. But then Dan Brown's fictional Da Vinci Code got us all considering something very controversial, that the Grail was a bloodline from the marriage of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. In fact, other academics had previously written about that. So are you ready for another theory? This comes from Shakespeare expert Paul Hunting, who studied theology and cryptology for 40 years. He's dedicated his life to unlocking what he believes is a complex hidden code within the plays of William Shakespeare, which reveals that the Grail was, in fact, a set of religious teachings.
Ironically, you see, when I started writing, I thought, oh, this is about the Holy Grail. I thought I knew what it was. I thought I knew what the Holy Grail was. And as I got into it, I thought, actually, I don't. I don't know what it is. But I know that Shakespeare knows, and I know somehow he's going to tell me. And he didn't tell me until the very last scene in Hamlet. And then it was like, oh, my God, yes, utterly, utterly brilliant. I looked at this quote and I saw something glinting at me that I was familiar with because I've been studying this stuff for all my life, really, and so very, very closely. And I couldn't actually believe that what I saw was what I saw. It was one of those moments that was quite astonishing. And then when I checked it out, I thought, oh my God, Shakespeare is full of it.
You're describing them as secret codes. So what exactly was it that you recognised in them?
Well, I recognised three words. Are you familiar with Shakespeare, Hamlet?
I am, yes. In fact, I did an English degree, so yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've gone through quite a few of his plays in my time.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. Well, the last paragraph of the famous To Be or Not to Be speech goes something like, and the conscience doth make cowards of us all, and the native hue of resolution is sicklied over by the pale cast of thought, an enterprise of great pith and moment. With this regard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. And then when I looked at the words hue, current, and the name, that's what flabbergasted me, because hue, the word hue, the sound hue, is an ancient Sanskrit sound and name, sacred sound and name for God. And the whole thing is known in this part of the world today as the sound current. So to see hue, the name, and the current, I thought, I've got to be just projecting this, the old ink blot scene. But when I started to check it out, look in the other texts. I got a hunch to have a look in The Tempest, and I saw Caliban talking about hearing the sound of, what was it? Sometimes I hear 1,000 twangling instruments hum about my ears. Now this is ancient teaching about the sounds of the sound current. Shakespeare refers to it directly as the music of the spheres.
So you pieced all of these clues, these secret codes together, and just to explain exactly what you feel that you've come up with, this hidden code sort of denotes the fact that the Holy Grail wasn't actually a chalice that we all imagine.
No, it's not the chalice per se. But, for example, Macbeth alludes to it, and this is what got me going with Macbeth in particular. I focused on Macbeth, Hamlet, and The Tempest, the three major plays, but through a very different lens from the Orthodox. Okay, supposing Macbeth is actually the story of Satan and how he was defeated by Jesus Christ. And then Hamlet will be the converse of that, is the story of Jesus and how he how he was given the destiny of being the Christ, and how he then set about to defeat Satan. And I mean, these are outrageous. I know it's outrageous. But anyway, I thought, well, what happens if you start looking through that lens at the plays? And then if you look at Macbeth, when he's contemplating the murder of Duncan, the king, to take his crown, he says, this even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. So I thought, poisoned chalice? Is he referring to the chalice of the Grail? Let's have a look in the Bible. Of course, the ingredients in terms of in the Bible was the wine and then the bread. Jesus says at the Last Supper, he says, the one to whom I give this sop, bread dipped in wine, will betray me. And he gives it to Judas. And he says to Judas, that thou doest, do quickly. And then it says, and after the sop, Satan entered into him. And it's ambiguous. Entered into whom? But what if Satan entered into Jesus? And he took that energy field with him to Gethsemane, to the trial, to the crucifixion. And here comes the big heresy, which is in all the plays. That it was Satan that died within the body of Jesus. And then the Christ, the soul, was set free, was resurrected. And that's the soul in everyone, not just in him, but in everyone. It's done.
It is, I'm sure, something that's going to be quite controversial. Some people with a very strong faith could be feeling quite uncomfortable, really, about these ideas. How has this work so far been received?
People have been flabbergasted. For example, the book's only just been launched today, but yesterday it reached the #1 bestseller list, pre-sales in the whole of the United States.
Goodness, yeah.
I mean, it's astonishing what's going on.
I'm just curious about the background to all of this. Obviously, you know an awful lot about Shakespeare. What do we know about his own faith? Did he have a strong Christian faith?
I don't think so. Not in the conventional sense. I don't think he was a Christian as such. I think that he was more like a spiritual teacher, an enlightened being that had a mission. Unutterable genius, the way he's done it. He's dramatizing in his plays the mystical interpretations of the Bible from Genesis through to Revelation. The whole thing is encapsulated in his plays. Every play that I've looked at has got the same core theme running through it, but coming at it from different angles.
It's a really interesting theory, but I guess it is still a theory. It's not proof.
There ain't going to be no proof because it's all deniable. If you approach it with a rigorous analysis, analytical mind kind of approach, then you can find arguments against it. But I think the key, and that's the whole key to the Grail. It's not really accessible to the mind, but it's accessible to the spirit, heart. So that's what you need to listen to. That's the choice.
Quite deep, that, isn't it? Shakespeare expert Paul Hunting. So this is the Shakespeare Code, basically, that he's talking about. And if you want to find out more, if you're interested, then Paul's new book, Shakespeare's Holy Grail, is out today. And as I mentioned, it is already a bestseller in the States.